my music even playing? How rude.
It is. I hear it.
Oh, okay. And we're live. Finally. It's been a hot minute. Welcome to this shit show of a show where we can all welcome Random Nerd, who is ready to have some random thoughts with me. Well, I don't think they're random. I think everybody's feeling this way.
I would think so. What do you think, Meg? Lots of events.
Oh my god, my music is still playing. How rude of me. There we go, music on. So I think it's 100% same category as friggin' Martin Luther King. I think it's the same as JFK. Like, he was absolutely assassinated, and I truly believe by the same group of people.
Yes. For anyone who doesn't know already, welcome to this live. This is on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and it's more. Everybody has their own thoughts and opinions and whatnot. This isn't that. This is a bit different. And myself, Random, and Meg have chatted offline on various things. We actually have a side project in the works that kind of ties into what's going to be discussed a little.
It does.
To start, this was an inside job, plain and simple.
Hands down.
And it is very disgusting, disturbing. Oh, just as forewarning for anyone, this is a no holds bar for me. I have my own podcast, and I share critical thoughts on societal topics. For the most part, I'm fairly respectfole. Not here.
Very respectful. Not here.
Not here. Not today.
Open douchebaggery of whatever. We can say whatever the fuck we want here, and I love it. But if you guys are watching on Facebook, I actually posted his most recent podcast on my Facebook page. You can also go to my Beacons link, and I'm pretty sure I have your actual account to see your podcast on my my Beacons link. So anybody who wants to watch Random Nerd, I very much enjoy listening. He is very factual. He doesn't stem right or left, or it's the facts are the facts, and that sometimes is what it needs to be. But today we're ranting. I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm tired of seeing freedom of speech being shot at.
This isn't even being shot at, to be honest with you.
This is straight murder. This is a call to action, as you said.
Yes. So here is, for anyone listening, my political beliefs is hard independent. I do not lean right. I do not lean left. There are some things I support on the left. There are some things that I support on the right. Policy-wise, I do not follow or support any one person or politician. I want to make that very clear. I am a hard independent. Now, with that said, I do hold conservative views. And I want to be very clear to anyone. I want to be very clear to anyone who may construe this to their own agenda. You are part of the problem as to why and what happened to Charlie Kirk yesterday. If you construe anything that is said by anyone for your own political beliefs or for your own agenda, you're a part of the problem.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's been not even 24 hours, 24 hours, like almost exactly. And this poor man has been ridiculed by the news. And teachers today were celebrating and trying to amp up students to be happy that he was dead. Which, I'm sorry, that shit should not be in school. Like, it shouldn't be. Like, I love that Charlie Kirk went to colleges and talked to college students. Love that. Absolutely love that. Do I think it's okay that teachers can bring him up in high school or military school, or not military, middle school, or even elementary school? Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely not.
And there's something that I learned in middle school. There is something called government class, not politics, government class. I remember going to grade school for U.S. government class, learning the history, learning the different parties, the different branches of government, learning about government. What they're doing now is called indoctrination.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've talked about it. I think our history is absolutely screwed. It's absolutely screwed up. It's not what we think it is, or what we've been taught to think that it is. But I think this one's going down in the books. This is going to be in our history forever. Like, Charlie Kirk is just as important as other people who, I mean, he was important enough to assassinate. Like, he was making a huge difference. And mainly in college students, of just debating. Like, it's not like he, was like some of our other politicians that use their money and power and greed to any and everyone. Like, it makes me so mad. So mad.
Listeners and viewers, I want you to take a moment and just think about this. He was sitting in an open air tent, he wasn't forcing anyone. There was no security directing the crowds. It was just a crowd of students. He was sitting of his own in an open tent, civilly debating with students. There was, and all throughout, if you go through all of his videos, all of his rallies, all of his events, and even, if I'm not mistaken, he may have done the YouTube channel Jubilee. He's been on a number of those debates. You don't see him get riled up. You don't see him. You may see him show some defensive arguments. You don't see him get riled up like all these other individuals.
Right. Like,
so
what? Go ahead. Sorry.
Let me ask you this. If that was you, civilly, was he a threat? Was Charlie Kirk a threat to you? He was just sitting there. Let's just think on that for yourself. Was he a threat?
Right. Was he a threat to anything?
Exactly.
Anything. Like, other than a threat to our actual threats to our country, like to the mostly Democratic Party or the corrupt, any corrupt politician, he's a threat to, because he talks about the truth. He talks about facts over feelings. Like, He was such a great man. And
And to put it into perspective, what is your voice, people? What is my voice? What is Meg's voice? We have a voice. We are individuals. We are people. We are individuals. And I bring this up, and I've had to break my podcast rule. I didn't want to this early on. I wanted you to listen to, well, one, to think critically, but also to share not just the facts on things, but to share my viewpoint, what I am seeing. And I've got multiple platforms. I see everything.
right.
I admit I don't know everything. I see everything. I will tell you right now, to the average person, I don't see myself as intelligent. You know, I'm not a doctor. I have no credible, I hold no certifications of any skilled talent. It is me,
Right.
myself, my own skills, life skills, and the work experience that I've gained over the years. That is who I am. I am an amateur, just like your average Joe and Jane. I am an amateur. But I want to tell you this. I learn and I dive into these societal topics, not for any agenda. No, I ask the question, what is the fuss about?
Right.
What is the fuss about? Why? Why this? Why that? And then I dive in deeper. So what I want to share with the listeners and the viewers is, what do you stand for? Because yesterday, Charlie Kirk, you know what he stood for? He stood as a servant of God. If you listen to his many debates and events, one of the very first things that he talks about himself is that he is a Christian man, that he believes in faith of God.
Yeah.
So this begs the question, are Christians being murdered and persecuted? I mean, it's been a global thing for decades. But then you ask, what else could be a factor? One, if we want to get the extreme political of it, he was a straight white man. And I'm not sure about you, but I've seen a lot of hate against and towards or a lot of hate towards straight white men. So much so that we have men identifying as trans, not even full-fledged, passable. We are talking about putting on a wig or, coloring the hair, putting on women's clothes and saying, I identify as so-and-so.
Right.
U.S. society of men has become emasculated. And if you go into my podcast and you go through all of the series that I have, you will see what, where, and how society has deteriorated. So, I want to say the last 10, 15 years. I don't want to drop the answer. Because it's in my podcast, but then two, I challenge you to look it up for yourself. I've done the research, and there's plenty of voices out there that will give you answers. I am challenging you to look it up for yourself.
Like the answers are everywhere. Like I'm all about looking up information, and that was one of my biggest things in the beginning of doing any podcast was, don't trust me, look it up. I'm telling you what to look up, go look it up and do it yourself. Like, it is that simple. And I want to talk about something that I am going to be going through and doing another. I plan to do at least 2 more podcasts on Charlie. One is going to be about all of his best memories, all of his best debates. That one's probably going to be really long, but whatever. Also, I plan to break down the conspiracies surrounding his death right now as well, because there is quite a few of them, which is kind of blowing my mind a little bit, because I really didn't think that anything was there, but I started to look into it a little bit, and now I can't stop. Now I'm like, I gotta finish. I gotta go through the rabbit hole.
It's almost as bad as our other project. There's so much information to sort through.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be a
yes.
People are gonna hate me after that.
So just to give you guys a little a hint, there's a 3-letter agency that I have taken some interest in, and it is a 3-letter agency that we all know of, their quote unquote best interests of the US, but also their many, 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 many flaws and failures.
Mm-hmm.
The other part that I am slowly uncovering, thank you, YouTube, is that it's not who you think it is, but it is definitely an entity that we've all heard of. And when it's finally revealed, you will come to understand that everything is just a puppet.
Everything's basically their fault. Like, basically.
So you may, I know hate is a strong word, even for me when I say this, but you may hate certain 3-letter agencies. They're just the hub. They're just the orchestra. The actual conductor is the true puppet master. And I don't know how to feel about that, considering how widespread this entity is.
Oh my God, it's
so
insane.
Yes. Absolutely. So with that said, I'm gonna share my little tidbit moving forward, and I will end off with 3-letter, or not 3 letters, a 3-word phrase that I stand by. So, Meg, if you don't mind, I'm going to take it from here. I am Random Nerd. I am a political activist in the context of standing for we, the people of the United States. As I said earlier, I am a strong, hard independent. I do have conservative views and values based on my upbringing and what I stand for. For you, the listeners and the viewers, here is my voice. The entire US government, and I include the executive branch, even considering new administration, new policies. With that said, the corruption of the US government is so severe that there is a absolute and there is an absolute need for change.
Absolutely.
And I say civilly because I'm bringing up January 6th because it holds a bad version of what the nation needs to do. I am not saying anything, whether it was right or wrong. I'm just saying it was a bad representation of what needs to happen.
Right.
The congressional legislatures, the U.S. Congress members who are stock trading, is a severe conflict of interest. They are bought
Absolutely.
and paid for by whomever, by each other, by big pharma, by defense contractors. They are the ones funding foreign wars, what's known as proxy wars. The judicial system, and I don't just bring up Charlie Kirk. I also bring up the Ukrainian young lady who was, I'm going to say it, brutally murdered by a
Brutally murdered.
14-time arrested criminal.
Yeah.
So this isn't a rant, a sympathy. No, this is a call to action to hold your state and national legislatures accountable for their voices as well. In my podcast, Being Human, there is an episode of verbal, hateful rhetoric calling for violence for certain people. I challenge you to listen to that episode. I challenge you to listen to the rhetoric, the hateful rhetoric from your state legislatures that go to the U.S. Capitol to legislate for us. And I if you heard me, I said for us, not for themselves, not for, I forgot who said it. I think maybe the late great Robin Williams, but legislatures should be holding and have jackets that represent their sponsors, who they're getting contributions from. These state legislatures are bought and paid for. They do not represent you.
Right.
The U.S. Constitution directly states that we, the people, consent to being governed. We do not consent to these taxes on taxes on taxes. We do not consent to these proxy wars. I don't.
Right.
We do not consent to big pharma keeping us sick and keeping their business model rolling. I do not consent to the poison that is in our food and drinks that has poisoned our bodies to obesity. I do not consent to the atrocities of released criminals by biased judges and or non-qualified judges. The judge who released the 14-time arrested criminal, it has come out that she didn't even go to law school. She's not even qualified, let alone any knowledge to be a judge.
Right.
So here is my call to action. And I want to be very clear on this, people. My call to action is for those individuals for the immediate civil removal of their positions and a swift but just and fair prosecution for their incitement, for their verbal rhetoric, and their hateful mentality of violence toward political and non-political voices. I want you to be aware that Charlie Kirk is and has always been a private citizen. He has held no political position.
Yeah.
And he was brutally and systematically murdered. if you watch the initial videos, that was too clean of a shot. That was
Oh,
too
absolutely.
clean of a shot. And I am infuriated. We don't even have a shooter. We don't have
Right?
fingerprints of all things. That is how
Which,
infuriated I am.
which to me makes it more of assassination, because one, it's premeditated. Two, they literally had somebody who was literally put in the crowd
As a decoy.
to court. And I'll bet anything it's has to do with the past couple of interviews that he's done. And one of them is that he's been criticizing Israel because they've been trying to blackmail him. That's one of the newest things. Sorry, my phone started ringing.
No worry. On the notes of Israel, I am on the fence because of the items that I know of. Because of some of the items I've shared with Meg, I'm on the fence. By all means, I support the Jewish people because of my faith and also because of the knowledge
Right.
of history that I've dug into. But it is the current intelligence, and I just kind of gave a little hint as to where our side project is going to go. But
Okay.
the intelligence of said countries and governments is what's being is the center of all this play. What
Right.
infuriates me about the assassination, and especially with the on top of the call to action for the media to be held accountable as well.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, even the anchors, they may be just reading off of a script, but so are we. You know, even the anchors. Sorry, not sorry, but the producers know what they're doing. The middlemen know what they're doing. The anchors know what they are saying.
Right. And like I try to, put my shoes in the other foot, you know what I'm saying? Like if this was on the Democratic side, we would be just as angry. Like we would be just as angry as with Charlie Kirk, even though he's on the Republican side. It's the fact that anybody who is willing to go out and just have free speech gets killed. Like that's a fucking problem. That is a US problem. That is a us problem. This is something that we have to deal with. And how are we going to deal with it is what we need to figure it out. Like I've seen so many videos like, oh, this means we're going to war. Like with who? With who? We're gonna go and find the shooter that's had more than 24 hours to get away, who's probably in a different country. Like who are you gonna go and fight? The first liberal you see on the street just because they
You cut out again. Then
yes.
yeah.
Then we sit here and let the government do its job. If it doesn't, that to me shows that we have to fight our own government because our government isn't going to stand up. And this isn't the first assassination of a political figure who has gone against people like the elites. Like, and so how many times are we going to let our government fail to get, like, is it going to be because we just started getting the information on JFK and it's been 50 fucking years? So is it going to be 50 years before we actually know who killed Charlie Kirk? because that shit I'm not going to stand for. And that's the shit that I think we should stand up for, is to push our government to do its fucking job.
So with that said, yeah. So with that said, here is my challenge to you, listeners. Here's my challenge to you. What principles and values of life do you stand for? I challenge you to read the U.S. Declaration of Independence, specifically the second paragraph. And then I will challenge you to read the first paragraph, which is known as the preamble of the U.S. Constitution. I challenge you to read over those two sections and tell me, what do you stand for?
Right. What do you stand for? Like legit. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I'm getting angry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Maybe I should
because I can tell you right now what happened yesterday on September 10 with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That was a direct, it wasn't even a violation, it was a direct removal. Maybe not on paper, but it was a direct removal of your First Amendment. And even then, the Bill of Rights isn't your guaranteed rights. It is you as a person. As a person, you are inherently guaranteed these rights as a person.
Literally.
The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution, are restrictions against the U.S. government. Read over the first 10 amendments of the U.S. Constitution. Read it over.
Honestly, you should read the Bill of Rights, our Constitution, and you should know that shit as well as you know your ABCs. Sorry, not sorry. That shit should just be common fucking knowledge. But it's not. Like, I just saw a video the other day of, and you know how people do the videos like, oh, what's a conspiracy that you 100% believe? And he's like that the schools aren't teaching cursive so that in generations to come, they won't be able to read our documents from our founding fathers. And I'm like, that's not even a conspiracy, bro. That is a fact. Like, that is literally a fact. Like, we'll probably end up touching on this in our other projects.
Yeah.
But
okay. I'm sorry, listeners. I'm sorry for laughing, but this side project, it's going to be a whole series. Trust us on
it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
But just the initial of not even findings, because like I said, the answers are there. But I laugh because there's so much answers out there, and what we already know is just, it's, I can comprehend it. I can. But it's the fact that the general population has been brainwashed, indoctrinated, however you want to phrase it, has been put the blinders on, deliberately put the blinders on, so that by now, so some of the stuff happened in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even before then. And all of that knowledge has been deliberately shoved under the rug, never to be touched on. And here we are. I will tell you right now, we are financial slaves. Those in the U.S. and even across in other countries, you are a financial slave. BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they own each other and they own America. They're just another con. You are going to be renting for the rest of your life because of State Street, Vanguard, and especially BlackRock. And real quick, before I'm gonna have to go shortly, but
You're good.
BlackRock, I just saw this. BlackRock uh, created an XRP crypto ETF. They've already compromised Bitcoin. Now they're going after XRP, and the stock knowledge that I know it's crypto, but bear with me. The stock knowledge that I know, they are just keeping their tendrils so that you will remain as a financial slave. So here's my next challenge to you. When are you going to break away? When are you going to break your financial slavery chains and do something about it and be something about it?
Right.
So
Right.
I want to leave off with this. My stance is this: we the people. Again, let me repeat. My stance is for we the people.
Right.
I've already shared where to find that. I challenge you to research it for yourself. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I'm going to end out on this. If we want to do something for Charlie Kirk, I say starting, well, what's today? Today's Thursday. So we could even start tomorrow. You know, call your chairman and request a bigger information. Push them. The more phone calls they get, the more of us bitching and complaining, the more they're going to have to do their job. So start calling your chairmans and start pushing them to figure this out before there's a friggin' inside war.
Remember, they represent you. You,
We don't
in part,
represent
you
them.
pay for their salary, but on principle, they represent you. And if you feel they're not doing their job, we have a system of elections every 2 years. Get on top of
Yep.
your officials. If they're not doing their job, get them out.
Absolutely. Also, if you are having trouble getting this knowledge, these numbers or whatever, contact me in my inbox. I don't always answer messages because there's lots of creeps in there, but
Oh, you went silent.
send me a message. Can you? No?
Almost.
I
Try
think it
again.
might just be you.
Oh, okay. Try.
Alrighties. Listen. How about now?
Okay, you're
Are we
good.
good? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you can't figure out this information, get a hold of me. Just let me know in the beginning of the message that you're trying to get a hold of your government official, and let me know what state you're in, and I will get you the numbers. I will get you the email addresses. I will get you that information, because the more push we put on them, the more they're going to actually have to do it.
And
I
I
don't
was gonna
trust
say
people.
I'll tag team Meg on that because this is our specialty. We enjoy it. Certainly enjoy it. Meg, do you enjoy it?
Oh, me too. I absolutely enjoy it. I want this to be my lifetime job. Like, you know what I'm going to start saying? You know how I like to say I want to be the female Joe Rogan? Screw that. I want to be the female Charlie Kirk. That's what I'm going for, with a little bit more zest. But, you know.
So if you're having trouble contacting, or if you even if you get voicemail, the offices go straight to voicemail after. Send us a message. We'll help you out. We know some
Right.
ticks and trips through our research.
Facts.
So thank you very
Wow.
much. Thank you, Meg. And
Yes,
again,
of course.
we the people.
Our voices are important.